Chelsea plots stunning move for Arsenal target Alexander Isak in summer transfer window. Former Chelsea forward Pat Nevin has predicted that the Blues could launch a massive bid for Arsenal target Alexander Isak in. The Swedish striker, currently at Newcastle United, has long been on Arsenal's radar, but his club values him at over £100 million. Since arriving from Real Sociedad, Isak has been a revelation in the Premier League, netting 44 goals in 70 appearances. His form has only improved recently, scoring 14 goals in his last 15 games, helping Newcastle rise to 5th in the table, just 1 point behind the Champions League spots. Despite this red-hot form making a January transfer seem unlikely, Nevin believes Chelsea could make a surprise move. Chelsea's struggles spark transfer ambitions. Chelsea's early season promise has faded, with their main issue being a lack of goals. Nicholas Jackson has failed to capitalize on several key chances, and the team's inconsistency in front of goal is now a major concern. That's why Nevin thinks a bid for Isak could be on the cards. I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea made a big bid for Alexander Isak if there are any signs he might be available, Nevin told Grosvenor Sport. Chelsea definitely want him, but honestly, I think he'd be a great fit for Arsenal. If I were him, I'd strongly consider that option. Competition heats up, Arsenal and Manchester United lurking. Nevin went on to say that a front line featuring Isak, Kai Havertz, and Martin Dedegaard at Arsenal would be terrifying for opposition teams. While Arsenal have maintained a long-term interest in the Swedish striker, Manchester United could also join the race if they sense an opportunity, though it's hard to imagine Eddie Howe letting his star man leave mid-season. Chelsea may need to sell to buy, with profit and sustainability rules PS are limiting Chelsea's spending. The Blues may be forced to offload 4 or 5 first-team players in January to raise the necessary funds. The potential arrival of Isak could finally resolve Chelsea's attacking issues in the second half of the season. Isak, now 24, had a fantastic 2023-24 campaign, scoring 25 goals and drawing attention from several Premier League rivals. Isak valued at £115 million, can Chelsea afford it? Chelsea have reportedly contacted Newcastle to inquire about Isak's availability. The Magpies, however, have made it clear it would take a fee of over £115 million to even begin negotiations. Due to the high cost, Chelsea might need to offer players in exchange to make the deal viable. 3 Chelsea players who could be included in the deal. Here are 3 players Chelsea could offer as part of a swap deal for Isak. 1. Raheem Sterling. The future of Raheem Sterling at Chelsea remains uncertain. With a new striker incoming, the 29-year-old could fall further down the pecking order under new manager Enzo Maresca. Sterling has struggled to find consistent form since arriving in 2022, scoring 10 goals last season. A move to Newcastle might offer him a fresh start and more game time. 2. Noni Madueke. With Miguel Almiron potentially leaving Newcastle, the right-wing spot could open up. Noni Madueke, 22, impressed in the latter half of last season and could be an ideal replacement. He scored 8 Premier League goals last season and could be a perfect partner to Anthony Gordon at St. James Park. 3. Romeo Lavia. Signed for £45 million, Chelsea are unlikely to sell Romeo Lavia permanently just 12 months later. However, a loan move to Newcastle could benefit his development. The 20-year-old midfielder spent most of last season sidelined with injury and may struggle for regular minutes at Chelsea. Newcastle, reportedly seeking midfield reinforcements, could offer Lavia the game time he needs under Eddie Howe's guidance. What's next for Chelsea and Isak? A move in June will be tricky, but Chelsea are known for bold transfer strategies. If they can free up funds and structure a clever player plus cash deal, a blockbuster move for Isak isn't out of the question. Whether he ends up at Stamford Bridge, the Emirates, or stays at St. James Park, one thing's for sure, Alexander Isak is one of the hottest properties in English football right now. Transfer bombshell incoming, Chelsea plot shock £115 million move for Arsenal target Alexander Isak. In what could become one of the most dramatic transfer sagas of the upcoming June window, former Chelsea forward Pat Nevin has boldly predicted that his old club is preparing a blockbuster move for Newcastle United star Alexander Isak, a player long admired by Arsenal. Isak, valued at over £100 million by Newcastle, has been nothing short of sensational since his arrival from Real Sociedad. With 44 goals in 70 Premier League appearances, including 14 in his last 15 matches, the Swedish striker has not only lifted Newcastle into 5th place, but has caught the eye of several Premier League giants. Despite his form making a mid-season move seem unlikely, Nevin believes Chelsea might be desperate enough to test the Magpies' resolve. I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea made a huge offer for Alexander Isak, especially if there's even a hint that he's available, Nevin told Grosvenor Sport. Chelsea definitely want him, but honestly, I think he'd be a much better fit at Arsenal, and if I were him, I'd seriously consider that. Why Chelsea are desperate for a striker? After an impressive start to the season, Chelsea's form has dipped dramatically. One of their biggest issues, a serious lack of goals. Nicholas Jackson has struggled to convert chances, and the pressure is mounting on the club to bring in a proven goal scorer. Isak, 24, fits the bill perfectly. Nevin hinted that Chelsea might offload 4 or 5 first-team players in January to raise funds and balance their books under the Premier League's strict profit and sustainability rules (PSR). A major move for Isak, rumored to cost over £115 million, would likely require such sacrifices. Battle brewing, Arsenal, Chelsea, and United? Arsenal, meanwhile, have been tracking Isak for months. With Mikel Arteta keen on adding firepower, the idea of Isak playing alongside Martin Dedegaard and Kai Havertz is a tantalizing one, and not just for Gunners fans. Nevin even warned how terrifying that trio could be, and they may not be the only ones in the race. Manchester United could join the fray if Isak becomes available. But convincing Newcastle boss Eddie Howe to part ways with his star striker mid-season won't be easy. Player swap strategy, Chelsea's clever alternatives. With such a high price tag on Isak's head, Chelsea may explore a part exchange deal. Here are 3 players the Blues could offer to Newcastle to sweeten the deal. 1. Raheem Sterling. Once England's golden boy, Sterling's future at Chelsea is uncertain. Since joining in 2022, he's struggled for consistency. With new signings pushing him down the pecking order, a move to Newcastle could offer him a career reset. 2. Noni Madueke. Newcastle may soon lose Miguel Almiron, which would open up a spot on the right wing. Madueke, 22, showed promise last season, scoring 8 goals and linking up well with teammates. He could be a perfect match with Anthony Gordon. 3. Romeo Lavia. Although Chelsea are unlikely to sell Lavia permanently after spending £45 million on him, a loan deal might benefit all parties. The 20-year-old midfielder missed most of last season due to injury, but could thrive under Eddie Howe's mentorship, especially with Newcastle reportedly in the market for a new midfielder.